Hi, good morning. Please excuse the state of me. I have a looming deadline. Well, it's 2 weeks away, but I'm, in that sort of state where I know I have an awful lot to do in 2 weeks. I have to finish the book and then go through the book to make sure it's as tight as I can make it before sending it to my editor. I've already delayed the delivery once, and she would very kindly let me do that. I've never done that before, but sometimes real life gets in the way, and sometimes you just have to do these things, don't you? So I thought today I would talk about my book haul. One of the things I decided to do this year is I read an awful lot of research books, and I always read my go-to authors' books. I love historical fiction, I love thrillers, I love rom-coms, so I like quite a few different books, but I also thought I actually need to discover some new authors as well. Some of these books I have read their other books before, so they're my go-to my go-to authors, but others are new to me, and I thought I needed to read some. If you hear some snoring, I promise you that's not me. That will be my little dog, Rue. I have 3 rescue dogs. Each one has different issues, should we say. So Jarvie is terrified of fireworks and thunder and lightning. Claude hates being left alone. We believe he was owned by somebody before, or he was part of a family before, and maybe somebody died, or he was abandoned or something. So he can be a bit needy, be terribly sweet. And Rue is probably the most troubled. He's pretty anxious all the time. But one of the things, we've got beautiful weather at the moment. It's also potato season, so potatoes being planted and that sort of thing. But with the warm weather and the sort of potato season, I'm surrounded on 3 sides by fields, and that comes big flies like blue bottles. Ugh. Now, that's fine, but if you open the windows like I did this morning, you think, I always open the windows, but I've been putting them on a latch because obviously it's been cold and that sort of thing, or not doing it for terribly long in the mornings. I had all the windows and doors open this morning because it's so warm and gorgeous. And of course we had a couple of flies come in, and Rue is so scared of flies. His teeth chatter. Poor little guy. Bless him. So it's always a bit of a drama, and I feel today's going to be a bit of a long day. Here in my studio, I have netting across the doors. I don't across the windows, but I can pin the doors back, and they're across the door. So we don't have any flies or any midges or anything ever come in here. And he loves it in here. He's the one that's always with me. The other 2 sometimes join me. So that's my day. This here, actually, I've just seen, this is in the picture. This is George Eliot. It was a card sent to me by one of my aunts, probably 30 years ago. And when I was desperately trying to be a published author and writing and feeling like I was wasting my time getting nowhere. And I love this quote, and it says, "It's never too late to be who you might have been." I truly believe that. I was first published when I was 53. So I do believe that. And now, I do it for a living, so I'm very grateful for that. So my book haul. Well, the first book I thought I'd tell you about, obviously I hadn't read these yet. These are my next books to read. I live in Jersey in the Channel Islands. And Jersey, if you don't know Jersey, you'll know of New Jersey, of course. New Jersey was actually land that was given to one of the Decartrettes. The Decartrettes, so I live in a parish called St. Wands in Jersey, in the Channel Islands. The islands are in the Bay of St. Malo, so near the north of, near the French coast. I can see the French coast from my bedroom window. And back in King Charles II's time, he had to escape, had to run away, and he came and he was looked after here on the island. He was held for a while, and as a thank you, he gave a huge parcel of land to the Decartret family. So the Decartrets are actually the seigneur, so basically the head of the parish is the seigneur. It's called the seigneur, and that family are the Decartrets, and they have the most beautiful manor house and grounds which are open to the public on various different occasions. Absolutely beautiful. And that land has now become New Jersey. It's been called various other things in between, but that's New Jersey. So that actually originates from a thank you gift to our island where I live. Anyway, one of the other islands is Guernsey, where my mother-in-law, my late mother-in-law, comes from. And you might know the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society, one of my favourite books. Anyway, so this book caught my eye. I have read Mary Wood's books before, I think a couple, and I really enjoyed them. And when I saw she'd written a book called, oh, somebody's obviously here, called The Guernsey Girls, I had to have it. So I'm excited about that. So it starts in January 1936. Very interesting. And it's about two girls, and one of them is from the island of Guernsey. Very exciting. So I look forward to that. I'll be reading that. The next book, I've got another historical. As I said, I write historical fiction, and some of my books are set during the occupation of the Channel Islands. The Channel Islands were the only places in Great Britain that were occupied by the Nazis. They were invaded in the summer, so Jersey was invaded in July 1940, Guernsey just before then. And so my father was an evacuee. He was taken with his mum on one of the last boats. Everybody went on one of the last boats to England. They were in London, so you know, he was evacuated again from there, bless him, a couple of times. So evacuees are something I've heard about all my life. And this book by Kathy Sharp is called The Lost Evacuee. This really obviously took my interest. And it's about the Blitz in London. So as I say, my father was lived in London during the Blitz with his mum and his older brother and cousin. So I'm very excited to read about this. I've also written, I think it was an island at war set during the Jersey occupation. It's about two sisters, one who has to stay on the island of Jersey during the war to help the small holding in St. Ones, funny enough, where I live, and the other younger sister is sent to live with her aunt. She's evacuated to London. So I've written a book with that sort of thing in it. So I'm interested in that. I never read a book in the genre that I'm writing. So at the moment I'm writing a rom-com, so I can read historical fiction, and I don't worry that I might sort of absorb something from it and inadvertently, I don't know, include it, use it, I'm not sure. One of the other books I've discovered, this is by R.F. Kuang, and it's Babel. I've heard a lot about this book. Look at that gorgeous cover with the gilt on it, isn't that lovely? This book is British Book Awards Fiction Book of the Year, Blackwell's Book of the Year, and #1 New York Times bestseller. Crikey. And this is set in Oxford in 1836, the city of dreaming spires. And it says it's the centre of all knowledge, which yes, and progress in the world. And at its heart is Babel, Oxford University's prestigious Royal Institute of Translation, the tower from which all the power of the empire flows. Orphaned in Canton and brought to England by a mysterious guardian, Robin Swift thought Babel a paradise until it became a prison. But can a student stand against an empire? And it's for Philip Pullman fans, apparently, the Times say. So I'm excited to read that, and I'll look forward to doing that. One of the other books, one of my favourite authors as well, which lots of people obviously love her too, Emily Henry. She writes books that have the most incredible chemistry between the characters, and I just love that. It's something I aim to do and hope to do, and hope that readers feel happens in my books. And so this is, oh God, there's a sticker right across the back. That's a bit of a pain. A barcode thingy. So that's what I aim to do. So this book is Beach Read. 2 writers, 1 holiday, a rom-com waiting to happen. Oh, heaven. And it says January is a hopeless romantic who narrates her life like she's the lead in a blockbuster movie. Gus is a serious literary type who thinks true love is a fairy tale. That's very similar to another book that she wrote, isn't it? Which one was that one? I read this one before. And that was about 2 literary types. Okay. Have I? Oh, I might have bought it twice. No, I don't think I've read this one. But you know what? We'll wait and see anyway. Very exciting. I love Emily Henry books. And my final book today is a book that I've heard an awful lot about. I love TikTok, mostly scrolling through. I'm not very good at posting. I do post things there, but I don't get seen by many people. And one of the books I've seen a lot is this one, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, by Gabrielle Zevin. So this actually is intriguing. And when I told my daughter the books I bought most recently, we like very different things, my daughter and I. She likes much more non-fiction. She's an engineer, so and I write romantic fiction, so quite different with that. But she's actually also interested in reading this book. This is a global bestseller. I'm sure you've probably heard of this, if not read it. And it's the story of Sam and Sadie. It's not a romance, but it is about love. So I'm excited to read that. So that's, once this book is finished, I'm going to give myself a little bit of time off. I've currently got 2 books on the go, or 3 books on the go, because if you've listened to my videos before, you will know that I always have a paperback, an ebook, and I also have an audiobook. I listen to an audiobook when I'm driving in the car, when I'm just sitting relaxing, when my eyes are very tired from a long day looking at a computer screen. So I always have those 2 books, but these are my next load of books I will be reading. So what are you reading? Have you got any recommendations you'd like to give me? I always love to hear what people are reading, and I always love finding new books. And I suppose the first thing I need to do, though, is to get on with my writing. I'm getting there slowly, but I am getting there, and then I'll be walking my dog. So that's my day today. I hope you're having a lovely day. I hope you're having a lovely week, and I hope you're having a lovely time reading whatever books you're reading. So until next time, I will leave you in peace. If you would like to give me the thumbs up, that's great. If you would like to subscribe, if you haven't already, please do so below. That would be equally great. I'd love to see you here again. Thanks for joining me, and have a great day.